Hello everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Three Musketeers. Today we're going to look at a fun little game called SpeedRunners, which is available on Steam and on the Xbox One. SpeedRunners is a fast-paced 2D platformer and, as the name suggests, it's all about speed. Up to 4 players go round and round on a level as fast as they can, but if one of them hits the back edge of the screen, they will die. The other players will then keep on battling for first place, but as soon as the first player dies, the screen will get smaller and smaller, which will make it much harder for the other players still remaining. Being in first place is not always the best thing, since you can't really see where you're going most of the time. The game is very easy to learn, but very tough to master. The controls of the game are quite simple. You can either run left or right, duck or slide, and you have a double jump. Additionally, you have a grappling hook that will help you move much faster than you ever could while running, but you can only use it on the white strips on the ceiling. Swing as much as you can, since it will always be faster than running. There's also certain parts of the levels where you can wall jump, simply by pressing the jump key when you're stuck against it. Then, there is another thing to help you reach ultra speed, which are the boost pads, that are these blue rectangles. When you run past these, your boost bar will fill up, and you can then reactivate this boost whenever you want, to catch up to the person in front of you, or to just outrun that person behind you. There's a decent amount of courses available at different difficulties. The beginner courses are pretty easy, pretty much only basic jumping and grappling is required, and little to no obstacles. Then there's intermediate, advanced and expert courses, where you will see spikes, lasers, buzzsaws, trapdoors, and much more that will make your journey to become first even more impossible. At first the game is quite hard, but once you know a couple of the levels off by heart, it gets a lot easier. You can also create your own levels in the workshop, or try out other people's levels. No downloading required, as you can just select these within the game itself. Good. For the ones who didn't think the game is enough of a clusterfuck at this point, there's items. You can get these by picking up the blue diamonds scattered around the levels. First of all, there's boxes, which will make you trip. These can either be pre-placed inside the levels, but can also be picked up by players, who can then put them down in the most inconvenient places. But be careful, you might run into them yourself on your next lap. Next, there is the homing rocket, which does exactly what you'd expect from a homing rocket. It homes in on the first enemy in front of you. You can also get hit by your own rockets if you're not careful enough though. Then the, in my opinion, most fun item is the golden hook. When you fire the golden hook, you will grab the first enemy in front of you and pull them back towards you. Now this seems really strong, but you can dodge this item simply by ducking, which makes it less effective at long range. A more strategic item is the bomb. When you press the item button once, you will put down the bomb, and when you press the item button again, it will explode and knock back all players in range of it, including you. The boulder is pretty basic. You throw it in the direction you're facing, and it will roll across the floor, tripping everyone it hits. Although there's one interaction with it, which brings me to the next item, the shockwave. This will create a shockwave around the user, and knock the other players backwards or forwards. It also knocks away all boxes on the screen, but it can also send back the boulder to where it came from if you time it right. There's also an ice beam, which, after a short wind-up, will send the beam straight forward and puts all enemies hit by it into an ice block, and they are unable to jump, move, or use items, but they will keep their forwards momentum. The last item is the Invinci-drill, which, as you might expect, is a drill that makes you invincible to all the course hazards and player items, and it will also make you move faster. That's what makes this one of the better but also more rare items. There are various types of game modes. You can do quick play if you just want to run around and have a bit of fun, but if you're more serious about the game, there's ranked play, where you will earn points based on everyone you beat, and lose points to everyone you lose against. I found that at Pro League there's absolutely no mercy. You can also create a private game to play with your friends. Here you can customize your game to have items only be golden hooks, always get 3 rockets instead of 1, or have the level be mirrored, amongst other things. When you play this game, the thing to keep in mind is that this game is still in beta, so things will sometimes go wrong. You will die at times you should not have when you go too far forward, up or down the screen, but it doesn't happen too often, so it's excusable, and I assume that by the time they take this game out of beta, most of this will be fixed. I think they also did a great job on the levels, making all the walls black and the rest of the level designed. This way you are never confused as to where you can or cannot run or grapple. The characters are all very well done and have a unique personality to them, like Unicorn Man, Gil the Shark, or my personal favourite, Cosmonaut Comrade, the Russian superhero. So all in all, I find this game very much worth the money, especially if you can play it with a bunch of friends.